Radio, voice of the voiceless.
Sportville.
Ericsson, Garnacho hasn't stopped. Garnacho has scored in stoppage time, and Manchester United have nicked it.
For updates in the world of football.
Sterling for Liverpool. He's seen Henderson face to face with Fernandez. Henderson! Oh wow! Lift the Anfield roof. Company's error, yes.
Formula One.
Near him, because down the inside now comes Carlos Sainz on Lewis Hamilton. Sainz just squeezes Hamilton, who goes over the rumble strip.
Cycling. Boxing. Basketball and lots more. Listen to us live on Sport Rush, Mondays to Fridays, 12:30 p.m. to 1 p.m. on Al-IyamoyeTv Radio. For more inquiries, please call 0806-242-9799. Sport Rush, your everyday dose of sports.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Sportville this morning on Al-IyamoyeTv and radio, where we give you the update on sports all over the world today. And I am YAZID.
I'm sure the sports.
Okay, it's starting today from Tottenham. Tottenham open talks with Barcelona for Ansu Fati. Initial terms revealed. The Barcelona forward Ansu Fati appears to be open an idea of leaving the club for the first time, and the Premier League has not waited long to come calling. According to the transfer guru Fabrizio Romano, Tottenham Hotspur have open talks with Barcelona over a potential deal of Ansu Fati. SMD.
Well, it's quite unfortunate that Barcelona are not valuing this player so much, and I know it's very possible Barcelona to regret their action because I said something on Monday that they can't rely solely on Lamine Yamal to give them what they want, and they've just lost Ousmane Dembele to PSG. Now, who did they have in the attacking position? They have Lamine Yamal, they have Rafinha,
They have
Lewandowski, and they have Fernandez plus Ansu Fati. They have 5 players in the front of it, and only one of them is a striker. Don't forget, it was yesterday that Lewandowski had an issue with Xavi. He said they don't play with more attacks. Because on Sunday they only play with 2 attackers, whereby they have Lewandowski and Lamine Yamal. And it was very difficult for Barcelona to score that day. Not until when Fernandez came in and he played from the flank, and they have various options on the field of play. That gave room for Lamine Yamal to get some assists and some shots on targets on that day. So leaving Ansu Fati, I think they should think it twice before they can release Ansu Fati. Because towards the end of last season, when they go dry for Lewandowski, it was this guy that came out and scored for Barcelona for like 5 consecutive games towards the end of last season. So this guy still have potential. It's just only injury that deepened this guy to reach his potential. And I don't think they should. And I don't even think Tottenham is even the best
for
Ansu Fati, because let's look at the options for Tottenham Hotspur in the front. Aside if Sonny Omi will come to the center forward position, and Ansu Fati will be from the left hand side. If Angel Postecoglou is still going to continue with Richarlison in the front, Kulusevski from the right wing, and Son, it means Ansu Fati will need to sit on the bench. So it's only if Angel Postecoglou can promise him a first 11 shirt that we have Richarlison to sit back on the bench and have Ansu Fati on the left side. But is Sonny Omi a center forward? No, he's not a center forward. He's the kind of player that loves to be everywhere on the field of play, playing from the left to right. You'll have seen the kind of performance he plays now, that he was limited to left hand side for his Portugal side. Under other coaches at Tottenham Hotspur, where they have Harry and Son in the front forward, they play with 2 or 3 strikers, but whenever they want to attack, they remain with just only Hurricane and Son Omin in the front forward. So if Andre Postecoglou can promise Ansu Fati in the first 11 shirts, I think if you go to Tottenham Hotspur, it will play very well. But Barcelona should think it twice before they can sanction this guy in loan deal. Also, it's a loan deal, but whenever a player plays on a loan deal and he eventually performed and he thought he thinks he feel at home, so a player can decide that he don't want to return back to his parent club. So Barcelona to think it twice before they can sanction this deal.
Okay, yeah.
Thank you very much. I don't want to say much about this, but I just want my assembly has said Barcelona should just think about this because I thought Xavi Hernandez should have known this for a very long time. Since when Lionel Messi has left Barcelona, it's quite difficult for Barcelona to retain a little player. As in true, since when Messi started at Barcelona, he started as a young player before he goes to where he is now. So it's very difficult for Barcelona. Now Barcelona was not that we know back then. Everybody's afraid of playing with Barcelona. Like you look at the likes of Barcelona. Now everybody even wants to play with Barcelona like if you want to come, let's meet. Because look at the players that are in Barcelona now. Look at the likes of the player there. So Ansu Fati, because of the injury he had a problem with that. Before he went on injury, he has been performing well, which we know, even when Messi left Barcelona, Ansu Fati will pick up the chance of that. Unfortunately, he has not been doing all that because of his injury. Look at what he has said. Now, don't he also complain they are not playing attacking football anymore, and that is unlikely. Unlike Barcelona, we know Barcelona for playing attacking football. We know them for taking attack. We they play attack. Barcelona has not been doing all that now. So I think Xavi Hernandez should just think about this to know that give Ansu Fati a chance. Because before Ansu Fati, now Yamalemi. Before Yamalemi, it was Ansu Fati. Now because of this, you want to let Ansu Fati to leave. What if? And not only Ansu Fati, Rafinha was also on the show. Fernandez was also there. So who are the players Barcelona want to build a team on? Who are the players Barcelona want to build around? They want to use. If all these players now decided that they want to leave, or you eventually sold them out, who are the players you want to leave? Let's assume Togboli and Bali were okay, we want to move into Barcelona now. As the rumor was around, going for Fernandez, going for Rafinha, going for Ansu Fati. Chelsea may not have the three of them, but the three of the players should just leave. You start searching for another player.
It's not possible for three of them to leave.
It's not possible. I'm not saying it's not possible.
What Barcelona is trying is that, and I don't really love it has been doing such for the past years. Whenever they see a player and they say this guy is a prospect from the La Masia and he has played and he performed and he had a deep in form, and another La Masia came out, they will forget about the La Masia that is not on best form. They will believe, and don't forget I said on Monday, 16 years old Lamine Yamal is still young.
Very, very young.
No, this thing happened for two players at Barcelona then, Cuenca and Christian Tello.
Yes.
Tello came in before Cuenca, and after Tello came in from La Masia, he started playing, but he got a dip in form. He was loaned out, and Cuenca came in at well. I couldn't forget the Champions League against Chelsea in 2012. Cuenca was one of the players that brought in first assist. Over Chelsea beat Barcelona in the second leg, whereby Torres and Ramirez scored the winning goal in the second leg. I think the first leg was 1-1,
yes.
1-1 draw, whereby John Terry got the red card or thereabouts. Cuenca was one of the players that was instrumental to Barcelona to play at that time. Yeah. But Barcelona don't always try to deviate
from
bringing. I said something about Arsenal as well. Arsenal now are not trying to deviate from what we know them for.
Yes.
At Arsenal now, we only have two players that comes in from the academy. Emile Smith-Rowe and Bukayo Saka. And before, we know Arsenal that at least 4 or 5 players from the academy will be in the team.
Yes.
Now Barcelona as well, they are now trying to be a buying club. That is what bring about problem for Barcelona. Under the past president, Bartomeu. He starts spending, and well, let's see, because I'm now start hearing about your Felix transfer to Barcelona.
Barcelona, yeah.
Yes.
48 hours. I just heard
I should remind Barcelona fans out there, they have not have it been easy buying player from Atletico Madrid. Don't forget the deal of Anthony Griezmann.
Anthony
Griezmann said it outside of vividly. I said, I want to go to Barcelona. And after moving to Barcelona, what happened to Anthony Griezmann? Nothing to come about. He played woefully at Barcelona.
A lot of money.
What amount of money there? Now you want to bring Joao Felix again, which I know. It was because of Joao Felix that they want to get rid of Ansu Fati. And I know it might not pay Barcelona at all. Bringing in Joao Felix, I call Joao Felix overrated player. To me, overrated player because the kind of play he used to have at Benfica then. You can't compare it to having it at all these big teams. Same thing as Dan Nunes at Liverpool. He's playing the same as he plays at Benfica. It's just that at Benfica, he had a lot of work to do. The team was built on him. But as Barcelona should think about it
before allowing Arsenal to leave the team as well.
Okay, yesterday there was an award to the Premier League player, the PFA Premier League Team of the Year, where Haaland was also scooping up the PFA Player of the Year, while Arsenal star Bukayo Saka won the PFA Young Player of the Year, and the first 11 there is from the goalkeeper. We have Ramsdale from Arsenal, we have Saliba, we have Ruben Diaz, Stones, and Trippier. In the midfield we have Odegaard, Rodrigo, and De Bruyne, and in the forward we have Harry Kane, Haaland, and Bukayo Saka. My question on this: who is meant to be here and isn't here?
It was quite unfortunate that I don't find a way to see Marcus
Rashford,
in the team of the year. But the other players that was chosen by the PFA, I think virtually every one of them really worth it. In the forward position, all of them really worth it because you can't remove Bukayo Saka performance for Arsenal as a 14 goals,
11
for Arsenal,
assists.
11 assists. Same thing as Haaland. That is with the first pick. And Anakin as well, what it does. I think this was just a saint fault for Anakin in the English Premier League.
Yes.
Because if you look at Rashford performance as well for Barcelona, Man United last season, if you substitute Rashford goals for Man U and it was only goals from other players, I think Man U will not be in the position they are.
They will not be even top.
So it was just only Rashford that I thought he should have been in the team. But actually it was not there. But I even thought someone else should have the chance to be there. Either Mitoma from Brighton or Caicedo.
I was also expecting my own Caicedo.
But if you look at the midfield that was chosen, they have Rodri, they have Kevin De Bruyne,
and
they have
Odegaard.
But who I thought should not be in the midfield is Kevin De Bruyne. To me.
No, I was expecting Kevin De Bruyne. It was Rodri. You know, while Rodri was brought into the limelight, was bringing into the discussion of he escaped Manchester City through some chances of getting them down. That was, I think, he played the Champions League, which he helped them, which everybody see like the Champions League final against Inter Milan. You know, everybody was like, "Oh, Rodri," because right from the season. After when the season started, no one knows Rodri. He has not been performing to them as well. It was Gundogan, Kevin De Bruyne, that we know that was performing for Manchester City then. Unfortunately, Rodri just came in and performed towards the end of the season.
The reason why I said Kevin De Bruyne, Kevin De Bruyne.
You know, last season we were even talking about Stones coming to the midfield.
That reminds me of another player at the back. You know, what I say in Caicedo or any other defensive midfielder in the NBA is that if you look at the kind of performance of Kevin De Bruyne last season, aside from like 1 to 20 games, you know, he had some injuries.
Of course.
Towards the end of last season, he was unable to
play.
And Rodri played virtually all the games.
For
Manchester City. And don't forget, most of the crucial games that Man City won, it was from the brilliant performance from Rodri. Because if Kevin De Bruyne and Bernardo Silva are not going to be found on the field, you will see Rodri. He will come out and try to win some matches for you. He has even started in this season as well.
Yeah.
So it was Kevin De Bruyne that I was even looking at that he might not. I was even expecting like Almiron or Joelinton or Guimaraes. I don't expect John Stones to be at the back line. But just to compliment him, the kind of performance he had last season with Man City, because he played mostly for the midfield position.
Of course.
You could see where they were. They had the slots William Saliba. It's not William Saliba at the left back. all because they want to accommodate John Stones. And don't forget, there are other defenders that did well.
More better than Stones.
They are a lot. Look at this centre back for I think for Brighton as well. He did well as well. Estupina. No, it was left back. He played from left back.
Was the left back.
He also played well. So now some players are unable to come in because they are being that are detrimental of the other players. To have William Saliba from the side. And don't forget, William Saliba had some injuries. I can even say William Saliba doesn't want to be there. Because if you see William Saliba, he had some injuries and he didn't end the season with Arsenal.
You know why? Why Saliba was there? Because when he had an injury, Arsenal had a problem.
Sure.
Maybe that was why they were like, when you played with Arsenal, he performed well. Everybody knows him for that. So immediately had an injury, Arsenal got the problem, which is they missed his absence from the team. They was like, okay, that means Saliba is very instrumental to Arsenal team.
I'd even love to have Bond.
Of Newcastle.
Because he played virtually all the game for Newcastle last season from left back position. And look at where Newcastle made themselves, where they end up in the season last. I don't even expect not to have a Newcastle player in the PFA.
Trippier.
Okay, they have Trippier. Although Trippier have really tried, but we have some right back that tried more than Trippier last season. But just as a compensation for Newcastle to have a player in the team of the year. But every one of them was it, and all the best to every one of them. Ramsdale. Let's be sincere with ourselves.
If I was to choose, I would choose Ramsdale.
You know what? So in my own opinion, let's be sincere with ourselves. Ramsdale, aside from having some blunt performance for Arsenal last season, he really performed more than expectation.
Okay.
He exceeded expectation of everyone because everyone have been criticizing this guy that
came from relegation.
Did do well. And who won the Golden Glove? I think so, David De Gea.
David De Gea, yeah.
And not choosing David De Gea was from so many mistakes. Sometimes a goalkeeper that won the Golden Glove might not be in the PFA Player of the Year. If you look at the saves, that one of them has Ramsey might have saves.
No, he doesn't.
He might have.
But looking at it as the last season, Ramsey doesn't have the saves more than him.
The reason why I say such is that let's look at performance of Arsenal. Let's look at both of them head to head. Man U, Arsenal. The head to head on both sides, I think Arsenal was ahead. And let's look at the position that Arsenal finished on the table last season. They are ahead of Arsenal, of Manchester United. So I don't even expect Ederson Moreau to be there, goalkeeper of Man City. So to be sincere, sometimes you look at Ederson, you trust Ederson is fantastic goalkeeper. Anthony, I always said something to people that Ederson is not that fantastic.
He has a defense. You know when they are good defenders. You know, keeper will be like top.
So basically, I even expect one goalkeeper to be might be ahead of Ramsdale.
Nick Pope. Good.
I'm not even talking about David here. Nick Pope should be in contender to because the first under 12 or 13 games, winning unbeaten. Nick Pope was very crucial to Newcastle, but Ramsdale really also wanted it. I would rather choose between Ramsdale or Nick Pope, but Ramsdale has been chosen, and to me, he also wanted to.
I thought there's something to say about the saves. Maybe he had a good saves last season.
Ramsdale. I have some saves.
He tried, but
more than David De Gea.
You know what? When you talk about David De Gea,
no, I was only asking, did he have it more than David De Gea?
We can't really see, but it's premature. Maybe we'll make our research and we'll get these two players to goalkeeper together, because there's a difference between having clean sheets and you have saves.
No, that is quite different.
And having a leaky defense that bring in shots to you. And if that last season there are some saves that Ramsey make that I was very, very surprised. Look at against Tottenham Hotspur. He made some crucial saves. He made some penalty saves last season that nobody, from the kind of player of team that Ramsey comes from. Everybody have been criticizing Arsenal that why we going to bring in Ramsey. So he exceeded expectation of everybody. Relegating, and he made Arsenal to be where they are. If it was to be McTominay, Arsenal might not have the chance to be where they are. But now McTominay is even improving himself at Nottingham Forest. He's playing, but he's kicking goals as well.
Like this season, like Alana would do. Like I think he's having more saves for
Manchester.
He's not having saves.
Sir?
He's not having saves.
How do you know?
He's not having.
What?
I'm telling you.
He has a bit of saves. That was the match. I think the match, the second match they played against Wolves. That was the one that was.
Wolves was first game. Second game was Tottenham
Tottenham
Hotspur. I will tell you. First 3 games for Man U last season, they has most saves.
That is
Because you know Brighton defeated Man U last season, the first game. Same that Brentford as well.
for me. I can't compare the G to Onana. If I was talking
No,
about
I can't. We are just all talking about the goalkeeper that was used to replace
Please, yeah.
the VDA.
it. Now I was only saying that this season
We have 6
Onana will have more saves.
Saves.
and I'm proving to you
That-
that by the end of the season, I pray God spare our life and then
Yeah.
the Andre Onana will not have more than the VDA saves last season.
Last season. Okay, we'll see that at the end of the season. Let's go on a short break. When we get back from the break, we continue on the transfer rumors going on around. Bruno, stay with us. Thank you.
Thousands have been disappointed severally in their bid to see greener pasture abroad. To those quack in the traveling agency business, it is a rocket science. That is not our case at TAOHEED Travels and Tour. We have in-depth details on how to successfully, without stress, help you process and secure your visa to anywhere in the world. Do you want permanent residential visa, visiting and tourism visa, student visa to places like Europe, America, Asia, Africa? It's no big deal to us at TAOHEED Travels and Tour. Our years of experience and expertise speaks volume for us. Let's process and secure visa for you to UK, USA, and Canada within a twinkle of an eye. We offer Hajj and Umrah services to our Muslim faithfuls. What are you waiting for? Consult us at number 9 TAOHEED Central Mosque, Sholanke Street, behind Laroy Hotel, Abiola Way, Abeokuta. 0802 733 0900 or 0806 578 4060. Stop wasting money. Pay for peace of mind. Talk to TAOHEED Travels and Tour.
Welcome back to Sportville on Al-IyamoyeTv, and when the news came up now, the Arsenal already have their owner Bruno Fernandez, and this isn't Martin Odegaard, this is Fabio Vieira. And we say this is based on the performance he had against Fulham. That's why people are now calling him one of better midfielder and is going to be compared to Bruno Fernandez in time to come.
And it can be compared to Bruno Fernandez, but they can't compare. I can't compare. Do you hear that? They can, but I can't. The reason why is just because Fabio Vieira is a very good player. Most times, Mikel Arteta use him as a substitute. You know, I do tell some people like, player being on the bench before you comes in. He has studied the match which is coming into do. Some players are coming up to meet. Some of them they have stressed themselves in the first half. They are coming up around maybe 70 or 60. They've stressed, they've used all the stress to defend, to tackles, to have interception. So you coming in, you still have the strength, so you can do whatever you like with the ball. So if you are being substituted into a team and you didn't perform, I call the player as a useless player, because you've sat on the bench looking at what happens. Like, okay, if I have to go in now, what will I do? The coach will tell you, they will bring a chance to you. Do this. When you get to the field of play, do this. You know what you're going to do there. So before I can just say, I can compare him to Bruno Fernandez. You should start like 4 or 5 matches consecutively. Perform the way you performed when you are being substituted. Give us the evidence that you are more capable than what people thought you are. So let us know what you're capable of doing. Let Arteta give him a chance. Let him start him, putting him in the lineup, and let's see. Bruno Fernandez has been starting all matches for Manchester United unless he has an injury. And I don't think last season did he have an injury at all?
Yeah, they had some yellow cards.
That's why he had some yellow cards, which he has to miss some matches. But he started some matches, every match in which he has been performed. Even if he did not perform, maybe one match, the next match he will have to prove himself back that I am still Bruno Fernandez that I am. So you can't compare Fabio Vieira to Bruno Fernandez as it is now because of the match he played against Fulham. No. So I can't say. But Mikel Arteta should just look into that. Start him up. Let's see. If he will eventually prove himself, then they should be in it. But meanwhile, don't forget, Kai Havertz is still there. Yeah. That is the problem he has. He did not want to bench Kai Havertz because of I think because of the pay, because of the money. But if he did not give them the words they expected of him, that is Kai Havertz, they need to put him on the bench. Let him sit for some matches. Substitute him as well. Let him come in from the bench. Even when he was at Chelsea, he was not being benched. We were like, there's no how. People will shout, people will talk. He'll still be on first 11 team to start up the match. I don't know what, maybe he's using some jazz. I don't understand. Because there's no manager that will go to the team that will not want to start him. Even when Tuchel got to the team, they started him up. Tuchel left, Lampard comes to the team, which we thought he would have to bench him and use him as a man. He benched him out and started using Kai Havertz. So we thought maybe Kai Havertz is on every other manager because maybe it was because of the past performance at Bayer Leverkusen. That was why he's being used. Like, okay, he will come up, he will perform, he will do. I thought so, but using Fabio Vieira to compare Bruno Fernandez, to me, I can't for now.
Please, who was the pundit or the journalist that said Arsenal has gotten? I want to know the person before I say something.
Has gotten their own Bruno Fernandez.
Who said something? Who said it?
It was just on.
Is it you?
Not me.
What I'll just say is, Fabio Vieira, very good player.
A very good player.
When he was playing at FC Porto, although the kind of performance he replicated at Porto. But sometimes when you want to compare player with player, you look at the consistency. Bruno Fernandes has been consistent for the past 3 seasons in the EPL. And even though if Fabio Vieira starts 5, 6, 7 games consecutively, there's one thing about Bruno Fernandes is, aside from being a midfielder, he's a goal scoring midfielder.
Yes.
He can provide assist.
Yes.
So all this age-wise, they're not together. All this joined together, you can't compare both together. Say, even though I only expect you to say when the baby, because they say they've gotten their own, they say
Martin Odegaard. Yeah.
because Kevin De Bruyne was interviewed, and he was asked, which midfield do you think is on par with you? That is very good midfielder. He said something. He said Bruno Fernandez. He said he has been consistent, and he talked about Martin Odegaard as well. So Fabio Vieira needs to play consistently and score, not even only assist, score goals, win Arsenal some crucial matches, not as he came in against Fulham. Because if you say he came in against Fulham, he played well. Arsenal eventually ended in draw. If you add we saw that they after 2-2, we scored a flashy goal for him, and they won 3-2. Say, this guy has arrived. Everybody denied. So to me, he's a player on his own. Don't let us put a too much burden on this player. He's a separate player on his own.
Yeah.
And Fernandez is a separate player on his own. Yes. He plays for a very experienced team, and gets going. There's time for a chance for improvement for Fabio Vieira.
Okay, we don't have much time on our side. On yesterday's match, Al Nassr against Al Shabab 4-0, with Cristiano Ronaldo showing again is Cristiano Ronaldo with 2 goals, and also a goal from Mane, and also a goal from Sultan and Ghana. And also yesterday on the EFL Carabao Cup, Fulham played 1-1 with Tottenham and won eventually on penalties 5-3.
That's the end of the
EFL. And today by 7:45 p.m. we have Chelsea against AFC Wimbledon. Pick predictions on Chelsea.
Is it on paper? I say Chelsea.
On paper. Okay.
Chelsea. Because we play at Chelsea parade.
Okay.
But all these small teams, sometimes you don't underestimate them. There was a season, Wycombe. They play against Chelsea. It was hard fought for Mourinho to beat Wycombe that day. So although I've said Chelsea the kind of performance they put on Friday, I think they should be, but I think he will need to bring in some young players, but not like everyone will be small young players. But I still go for Chelsea to win the game.
Like you've said now, if Chelsea can just start up their best of the players now. No, I'm not saying no.
What I know today, you not say I missed any.
That's what I want. That's what I want to. I want to find out. Like, if you're not starting up, I'm telling, not starting up Michael Jackson, not starting up Thiago Silva, not starting up
Enzo Fernandez.
So Enzo Fernandez, I'm not saying that, but they will be on the bench. Some of them will be on the bench. Like if eventually some things will actually come in. So if they can if Chelsea can be Chelsea of the last match, if those players, not if those that played, those that he wants to use tonight, if they can perform the way those players performed last match, I believe Chelsea will defeat Wimbledon.
Okay, come to the end of Sportville today on Al-IyamoyeTv and radio. Don't forget to like, follow, comment, and share our programs on Facebook, Al-IyamoyeTv Radio, and also subscribe to our YouTube channel. I remain YAZID TAOHEED.
I'm sure the Moshe Assembly Sports.
Thank you for watching Al-IyamoyeTV. I will remain Ibrahim.
We'll tell you a goodbye.